Hi, everyone. You're listening to The Tattooed Psychic. That is my friend Michelle's bird, Jude. It's a beautiful crow. Hi, Jude. We're waiting for my friend Michelle. I just thought I'd videotape him while we're waiting. Hi, Jude. Aren't you pretty? You're a feisty bird, I hear. I hear you're a feisty bird. Hi, Jude.
Talking to telling her
He's getting interviewed. I'm actually recording him for the podcast. He's gonna open the show. So it actually all worked out good, and we are recording. So We're back on track. Hi, you're listening to The Tattooed Psychic. That was Jude the Crow. And I'm here with my friend Michelle. We were actually we actually did the interview before this, but the recording had stopped, and so we are on round 2. So hi, Michelle. Michelle is my friend from New Orleans, and she is also the owner of the Laughing Crow Studio, which is her art gallery. Where can people find you anyway on that, Michelle?
I am on social media right now.
Instagram
and Facebook as the Laughing Crow Studio.
And people can purchase your art online, correct?
Yeah, they can message me and we can, I handle all that myself, yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to show people some of your art. I have purchased art from Michelle. This is round 2. We're doing this again. Okay, so we have Beans, who's my, but I actually see it's recording now. So we have Beans, who is my dog, who sadly passed away. He was 17-year-old long-haired Chihuahua, and that was a photograph I sent to her after he got a bath. And it looks just like him. It's identical. And then she did this. This is sometimes Michelle, my cat Zodiac looks exactly like him, full of himself. But Michelle will often do like I call them Facebook sales, where she'll do a portrait of your pet, or sometimes other things she has, right, for a fair price. I mean,
yeah, I'll do little commissions here and there, usually in the summertime.
And then I got the eyeball, and she'll put them sometimes in these frames. This came framed like that, little rhymy stones.
Yeah, I have a frame problem. I like to use little frames.
I like frames too. And then this is my crows. Oops, can you see that? Because I bought that one because I have crows tattooed on the sides of my neck. Anyway, that's Michelle's art, but she does all kinds of fun things. We were talking earlier, Michelle, about some of your influences, and you mentioned is it Griffin?
Yeah, Rick Griffin. He did stuff for the Grateful Dead. He did like posters for the Grateful Dead, is how a lot of people know who he is. And I think he might have done a couple Jimi Hendrix things, some surfer stuff, but yeah, he kind of has
a lot of people do know who he is, especially in the artist music scene, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And it's all, and I noticed in yours, you use a lot of those bright colors as well. And I think your art is somewhat, you know, your art varies to me. Some of it's Latin American. Some of it's, the pet portraits are just amazing pet portraits. Do you know what I mean? You have you're diverse and you're.
Yeah, I like to have a range because, you know, life's short. Why get stuck or tunnel vision on just one thing or one application when there's so many? Why not play around with them all, you know, see what you like, see what's successful, and why not?
Right.
Freedom of expression.
Right. I do decoupage and I paint. And I'm realizing that I like to paint really large paintings. I'm not
Those
really
are-
fond of the really small. You like to do the really small. That's really just not for me, but I love to paint big.
Yeah, me too. I used to do a lot larger pieces when I was younger. It's more of a spatial issue because I have an in-home studio right now, so can't go
Right.
to.
I'm lucky I have a room in my house that I've got big canvases in it right now that are blank, and I'm painting one that I'm really proud of right now. But anyway, that's me. That being said, and Michelle also sells her art. Like, a lot of people visit New Orleans that listen to this podcast, and if not, it's on their bucket list and they're going to visit it at some point. And Michelle sells her art down in Jackson Square and in New Orleans, which a lot of artists sell their art down there. And Michelle was telling me earlier that there's a process to, you can't just go down there, set up and sell your art. You have to have a
Yeah,
license, right?
you have a license and a permit, you get a badge. Yeah. I usually like to set up it's first come, first serve. I usually try to set up across from the Tabasco shop on St. Anne. That's where I like it over there. It's a fun little spot. Yeah. But definitely
Yeah.
be permitted if you're out there.
Yeah. But I encourage people to go down there because the art down there is so beautiful and you meet so many cool people. I remember I saw this one painting. I was down there and this woman had painted this photograph that was an actual photograph of a woman, a privileged woman giving a not so privileged woman a coin or some money on the steps of exactly where that woman was selling her art. And she had made a painting of that painting. It was so, I was like, this is one of the coolest things ever because you're getting the whole experience of this painting.
Yeah. Tells a story that
Right. Right. I thought that was so beautiful. And it was a beautiful painting and
there are
such a great story.
there's some very talented artists out there and I am grateful to be among them.
Yeah, that's a cool spot. And New Orleans is such rich in culture and all of that. It's a great place, I think, to be an artist if you're an artist, because you can create all day long.
Yeah, there's lots of inspiration.
And there's also a lot of psychics, right?
Yeah, so they say. I haven't really, talked to any of them, but yeah, there seem to be a lot of tarot readers, psychics. Yeah.
Yeah, and you were talking about maybe you're working on maybe designing your own deck.
I thought about doing some assemblage art pieces with found objects of some of the tarot cards. But yeah, I'm kind of intrigued by it. Thinking about some tarot stuff for sure.
Well, here's how I feel about it. Of course, if you watch my YouTube channel, I pull cards all the time, but I use more oracle cards. I do enjoy the tarot. I'm not a tarot reader though. I think a lot of people think I am, and I'm not. I remember that I couldn't get a gig doing readings at this one place because the person couldn't understand or didn't get that I didn't use cards. Like, how do you read them? I go, I just read people.
Right.
But people don't understand that. And I'm like, well, once they get into the reading, they understand it. So I just said, okay, I'll throw some tarot decks on the table. No problem. Well, let's put some tarot decks down there and I'll just pull some cards and I'll just give a reading that way. It doesn't, you know what I mean? And so what I find works best for me is the oracle cards, because I'm able to give readings without them. And the oracle cards to me kind of just give me a general direction, if that makes sense. And so the tarot, but it's just, there's way better tarot readers than me out there, for sure. For sure. And everyone's like, Faye, your art, you should do a tarot deck. I go, nah, it's not for me. I don't want to design a tarot deck. There's but I pulled some cards for you, Michelle.
All right.
Because I feel like there's a lot of, since COVID, so many people, and it's really great, so many people have discovered themselves, I feel like. And including myself, I've had to do a lot of self-reflection. I've had to do a lot of self-evaluation. You have too, I'm sure of it, right? I mean,
Oh yeah, I did some last week.
yeah. And we're coming to a time where we're really picky about who we're in their lives. We were talking about it earlier, how we've been hanging out with people down here, so we bring our light down here, and we're miserable down here.
Yeah.
And like you were saying earlier, it's lonely at the top. That was such a good one. You know, it is. Sometimes you have to stay up here, elevate your energy and stay up there and be lonely for a little bit, and it's okay.
Yeah. Enjoy it.
And I also want to tell people really quick, because a lot of people don't know this, and you're a part of this, because I feel like you are a part of the New Orleans community. You live there a long time. You're an artist in Jackson Square, and you belong in one of the crews, which a lot of people don't. When I mention crews, people go, "Who's that?" And yeah, what's that? So why don't you briefly just kind of tell people what a crew is, why they're in New Orleans a little bit, and what you guys do, and yada yada yada.
There's various crews that are either like dance troops or marching crews, and they participate in parades, basically in between floats or in marching parades. You have different ones. You have like a crew where they make flower costumes and they're flowers. They have like the Bayou Babes and they're different little bayou creatures, and there's a little boat on a bike, and it's really cute. It's very creative and artistic. They have different themed parades. Like this week they have the Crew of Bohem that's having a parade that I'll be in, and their theme is the Absinthe Fairy, and everything is green and vibrant, and the crew is made up mostly of artists. And this year I think it's about art, and they're honoring a local folk artist actually that lives not far from where I do over here in Algiers Point, which is pretty cool.
That's so fun, right?
Yeah, it's fun. It's a good way to connect and network with other artists and creatives.
Right,
sure.
and I love it too. And Michelle belongs in the Skins and Bones crew, and
Yeah, we're like a social aid and pleasure club kind of thing.
Yeah, and they play drums.
Yep, we play the drums.
Yeah, it's really fun. Cool. Yeah, really fun, super fun. I got to play with them a little bit in New Orleans, and also a lot of the crews do charity work throughout the year, not just around Mardi Gras. They're active throughout the year, correct?
Yeah, we like to do fundraisers. We also do donating to the battered women's shelter that's in Chalmette. So we like to donate to them every year when we can. A bunch of us get together and see what they need and try to come up with it and stuff like that. Yeah.
I love that. That's so important, I think. And
yeah.
But anyway, we were talking about COVID-19, whatever the hell you want to call it now. It's like, what happened there? That was crazy, right? Like, what was that? You know?
Yeah, it was an insane time.
It really was. It felt like, and the world is different now for sure. But I think what I see, because I'm more, I work in spirit. I've been doing a lot of spirit work lately. More and more people are trying to find themselves, like their true self. Like they realize that we don't have a lot more time on this planet. Like it seems like time has sped up.
Yeah, it surely feels that way.
And so people want to fulfill their dreams. And I've had these awakenings, and many people have, of like, you know what? Yeah, I'm not going to lay down and just let life happen to me anymore. I'm actually going to take charge and not be afraid of that. And Spirit wants to tell you that, because we got a couple cards for you that I drew while we were talking.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm going to draw a couple more, but these are your guides for this year for you, Michelle.
All right.
I can't say this name 100%. Mahavatar Babaji. There it is. Mahavatar Babaji. There you go. Thank you, Spirit. And this is soul expression. And you see how he's wearing the blue?
Yeah.
And you see how he's got the symbol in his throat.
Yeah, the ohm symbol.
The ohm
and,
symbol, right,
and the
correct.
geometric pattern in the blue
Exactly.
dots.
Whenever you're looking at cards, and I'm sure you notice, and he's got the stars in the back,
Yeah.
that's your soul expression. He's saying, you know what? This is the time to really get to your inner self, that soul connection we were just talking about.
I've
And
seen
this
those
guy
cards.
is, to me, he's more androgynous, I think. There's a feminine and masculine quality to this energy spirit saying. And he's East Indian. And then we have green Tara, supreme protection. This is saying, you know, if you're drawn to the color green, we were actually just talking about you doing the green thing.
Yeah.
This is, you should surround yourself with green a lot this year. This is a card where Tara always protects, but this is also about you getting into Mother Nature, meaning that you got to work with herbs more. I get that you have to connect with earth more, and that know that you're protected around that you're kind of a medicine woman there. And green Tara is here to help you kind of blossom into that nature being that you are inside, if that makes sense. I think you shut off a lot, like a lot of people, right?
Like shut off a lot?
After the COVID thing or during the COVID thing. Yeah, okay. We have Will of the Wisp, pleasures hidden in the shadows. So this is saying that this year, you're going to get out of the dark self, that shadow self.
Good.
Self you've been hiding from. That this is your time to really just bust through and say, you know what, I'm here. Say what you want. I don't care, because your words mean nothing, because my words are more powerful than yours. And I'm going places and you're not. And so bye, bye, bye. And then we have the crossing, which is an initiation. So this is spirit kind of giving you a choice. You know what, you have a choice to cross over this way or not. It's your choice. I mean, just like anything, it's your choice. But it's a great opportunity, right? It's a great opportunity for you to, like Mahavatar would be an energy you would call on when you really want to get into that psychic self.
Okay.
And also work on your chakras. You need to work on your chakras. So here's a really cool tip. And anybody listening to this, I love YouTube. Because YouTube, I watch YouTube more than anything else. I've canceled a lot of my subscriptions and I just watch a lot of YouTube. Because YouTube, you can find anything, girl. Anything.
Yeah.
I go on there, and one of my favorite teachers on there is Jason Stevenson. He does a lot of guided meditations. You know, he's just wonderful. And he does this chakra healing, but there's many people who do this. And you just go online and you play it at night when you go to bed, put on your earbuds if you have to, and you start working on yourself, man. See, this is where people fail at spirit. They don't do the work. This stuff that spirit gives us, like YouTube, is free. You just lay in bed and you're doing it anyway. You just put your earbuds in. It's all free. You got to take the time to do it and understand this will set and start reprogramming your body to get it to that elevated spot you want. I've been doing it and it's working.
Cool.
It's crazy. But then it's discipline work. It's I want to be spiritual. I'm like, you have to do the work. It's hard.
Yeah, you have to make a conscious effort daily.
Every day, yeah.
And make time for it and take it serious.
Right.
Yeah.
So, do you ever travel around with your art?
I just do Jackson Square. I used to do art markets. Some of the markets are kind of tricky, or they're just too expensive. The fees are too expensive, or they're looking for a certain look that is a certain aesthetic that I might not fall under. Like I don't have a fresh Pinterest setup. I have my bright, psychedelic, colorful art. I do earrings sometimes, and I have my little weirdo earrings, and art pretty much is what I have to offer at markets or masks. Sometimes I'll have some costume stuff or masks or something. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not as outgoing, I guess, as I used to be for markets, because they tend to have a lot of the same things.
Yeah. I go to markets sometimes and you're right there's a lot of the same things, but I do know this in that area, they have a lot more art markets than they do up here in the Northwest. That's for sure. There's not as much.
Yeah.
Especially here in Seattle. They have their little punk rock flea markets and stuff like that, but nothing, where 100% supports just the artists. Last year, though, they had a event where they brought in over 100 artists from all over the country and all over the world, honestly. And they came down here to the Everett Marina, and that was fun.
That's cool.
And so Everett here tries to, I think once a year they do that. They have a festival of the artists coming around, and I met some cool artists there. But yeah, and they had all kinds of art there. They had the artists like you, the more funkadelic, and then they had the more pristine commercial art, But
yeah. I'd like to get into some festivals eventually. It'd be cool to do a couple festivals. I'd like to get a piece into a gallery, maybe a couple of the local galleries. Those are just some goals of mine for the future. And I'd also like to make a book of my black and white photography by the end of the year. I hope to do that.
Oh, that's cool. I forgot you do photographs as well.
Yeah.
And there is that city's so great to photograph in. My God, it is such a rich history in the cemeteries and whatnot.
Yeah, I actually, I've asked a few people that I've taken some photos of that just popped up one day, and I was like, would you be okay if I use these photos in a show or in a book? And they were like, I'd be honored. Yes, I would love that. And I'm like, awesome, cool. I'm not joking. It's gonna happen.
Right. And everybody likes to be published, honey. I mean,
yeah,
it's such an honor for anyone to I'm in a couple of books myself, and it was so funny. One day I was in the bookstore and somebody was reading the book I was in.
cool.
It's like, what a coincidence that is. Well, this has been fun, Michelle. And I was gonna say, do you have your plans for the future are to get out there and get into the art galleries and whatnot? But also, do you sell prints and do you sell greeting cards of all of your art? Or because I think that would be, some of your art would be really cool, and like cards.
I thought about postcards.
Yeah.
I'm currently working with someone who's helping me make a logo for stickers, because I often get stickers. It's a thing, like a lot of people want stickers. So I'm working on getting some stickers, and hopefully I can work with there's a local photographer. I need to find out who that does really good prints and stuff. So eventually, yes, I would like to get into the print game, but I do use a lot of geometric shaped canvas that makes it a little tricky to get good
I
print.
also feel like your art would be great in fabric.
Yeah, some stuff might be cool.
Yeah, that day glow abstract stuff would be very cool in a dress or something. But
oh yeah,
I just love your art. I do, and I love your vision. And because when I see your art, it just makes me feel good. And I think that's the point of an artist, right?
Yeah, I like to make people feel lighthearted, and
right.
If they're laughing for a minute, if they stop and they're pointing and they're laughing for a minute, then I did my job.
Right.
Laugh with someone. That moment that they're laughing, they're forgetting about something that could be weighing them down. So it's
right.
cool.
There's this girl, this woman. She's a woman, but her name's Kitty Caliber, and you can find her on my Facebook. But she makes purses, and she takes vintage purses and whatnot, and just does a whole new twist on them. And some of them light up, and they're
wow.
They're just so freaking cool. You should go check them out. Find her on she's on Instagram too, and she sells them on Instagram, and she's just great. I hope to get her on here someday. But anyway, yeah, I love art, as you know. And here's my thing is, I say just go balls out. That's how I've always said to get things done, is like I just find a place and say, hey, can I hang up my art here and do an art show? And 9 times out of 10 people go, yeah, for sure. I mean, you have to just go out there, Michelle, and just throw it out there.
Yeah, you're right. I do. I have to get out of my comfort zone.
You do, because you're not gonna get anywhere sitting there doing that. I'm telling you
No.
right now. Yeah.
Yeah, you're
I
right.
tried that for years. It didn't work.
Yeah.
That's why I'm doing this now. Because my spirit was like, you're gonna rot here and you're gonna feel so sad when you end up you being an old woman and you can't do this stuff anymore, and you're gonna kick yourself in the ass that you didn't have the balls to do it. And I'm telling you the same thing. It's like, it's so true. We have to while we still can. We, you know, and I got this
Yeah.
a lot for 2023, and 2023 is a 7-year, as you know. And there's no reason we can't keep
Yeah.
chasing the dream. There's no reason to stop.
Yep.
Right? What did I hear somebody say the other day? You know, somebody said, what's your dream? And they said the dream is to not have the dream anymore, to make it a reality.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a cool dream to have.
The time is now.
The time is now. So if you're in New Orleans, you go visit, go see Michelle down in Jackson Square. You're usually there, right? What days? You're usually there on the weekends, at least. That's when most people are in New Orleans.
Yeah, I'm usually there on a Friday. Sometimes Saturdays. Saturdays can be tricky depending on what's going on. But yeah, I'm usually around there on the weekends. Sometimes a weekday if it's sunny and I have time.
And I know you've been working on this outfit while we've been talking, right? What are you working on? Tell people what you're working on.
It's sitting over there. I am gathering parts. I'm making a story suit basically of all these random patches, some different textiles, some vintage fabric, stuff that I've collected throughout the past few years. And I'm taking pieces and parts, and basically I just bought coveralls because I'm lazy and it's a one and done. I don't have to match clothing or any of that stuff. I just slip that on and it's good to go. And I got I'm telling a little story with all my little things and stuff all over my suit.
And I was saying earlier, that's what I love about New Orleans. You can wear costumes. It just, you know, and
Sure
nobody looks at you weird.
No, not
Maybe
at all.
a tourist will, but other than that, no, nobody cares. And I love that about that city.
Yeah, I'm making a mask too. That's what I was working on, was this it's like a little, just like a mask that'll go over your face. And I'm gonna put some fringe, and I have some crazy little just necklace parts from the thrift store. It's like a little, I don't know if you can see it.
Right, I can.
Little parts, stuff that's gonna get stitched on there. And
I just love it so much. I love people who do this, because so many people just don't use their imagination. And Albert Einstein, I believe it was Albert Einstein, just talked about the power of imagination and how it was so much more important than anything else. It was like, that was the key, right? To keep that imagination going and to.
Yeah, I think it's the fuel.
It is, for sure.
Yeah.
And when we started the podcast, and then we're going to wrap this up, but when we started, we were talking to your dear crow, Jude. Now tell people about Jude and how you met Jude and why he's living with you now.
It was about 2015. I was a vet tech, and one day this crow just showed up with this, you know, hobbling around, and I took him to work. We checked him out and everything, and he had a wing that's deformed, so he can't really be re-released into the wild. He wouldn't have made it. So basically he rules my house, you know. He's like the king of the house. It's not, you know, people are like, oh, how cool. It's really not that cool. It's a lot of work, and it's very much like having a toddler for the rest of your life. And if I were to let him run free through the house, he would wreak havoc and do crow things like pecking holes in things and grabbing things like my paintbrushes, which he does like to do.
Does he paint?
No, he does not. He thinks it's more fun to like rip up the little bristles in the brush and rip them out.
And they can
He's
get
not a
expensive.
painter.
Right. And that's cool though, because you're right. I don't know too many people who have crows as pets, and I can imagine it would be a little difficult, but
it's a lot of cleaning, a lot of meal prep. You have to have enrichment. He has to have things to do.
What does he eat?
He's very smart. He eats chicken, turkey, beef, fish, mealworms, blueberries, oranges. He doesn't like green things so much. It's very tricky to get him to eat anything green. It's kind of funny. He's like a spoiled little kid.
Yeah, my boxer is too.
Macaroni. He likes macaronis.
Oh.
He likes potatoes. He likes, yeah, I need to go make him more macaroni. He loves eggs. I was in the kitchen doing something and somehow he got a hold of a gelatin packet and I was like, oh, okay. So I made like crow aspic, basically. I put stuff that he likes to eat and I made like the gelatin set and put all the little things he likes to eat in there. So
that's cool.
Peck it apart and stuff and make a mess, and he loves that. That's one of his favorite things.
That's really cool. You should videotape that. I'd love to see that.
I'll do that.
Yeah, do that. That's really neat. I love it.
Yeah.
Well, this has been fun, Michelle. And sorry we had to do it a couple times, but hey, that's life, you know, whatever. It turned out great.
Yeah.
And I hope I can see you again soon. You never come up to the Northwest, but have you ever been up here in the Northwest?
No, I've always wanted to go for sure. It's definitely a place on my radar that I'd like to go check out.
Yeah, it is beautiful here.
Yeah.
But Seattle freeze is real. The people aren't super great, friendly.
Yeah. I think I had a friend move to Humboldt.
Yes, my friend lives up there. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a friend, one of my oldest, dearest friends, and a true friend. That friend where you can fuck up and they're still there for you, that kind of friend.
Yeah.
And she went from Austin, Texas to Elk, California, which I think the population is 200 or so. I can't remember, but it's small town. And it's such a drastic life, but her view and everything is so beautiful of the mountains and everything. It, you know, this part of the country is very beautiful. And this part where I live is very beautiful. I was just talking to a friend of mine in Texas the other day, and I was driving. I live up here more north Washington, more north of Seattle, and we're just surrounded by mountains, you know, just in this bowl, you know, everywhere you look, we're just mountains, and it's beautiful, but it's also fucking cold.
Yeah.
Miserable, rainy. There's a reason that nature's so beautiful in the summer, because it fucking rains like 7-8 months out of the year. So, it's gorgeous in the summertime. So people come here in the summertime.
Right.
Like, oh, I want to move here. And then they experience the rest of the time. They're like, oh my God. I go, yeah, it's grim, man. It gets depressing.
Yeah, you gotta look at the whole picture, not just the pretty parts.
Yeah, just like New Orleans too, right? Like people always want to live there, and then you gotta look at the whole picture. It's not.
Yeah.
The wage there is very low. They don't pay shit as.
Yeah, no.
Compared to the cost of living. Yeah.
Yeah, there's not really good mental health. There's not good health insurance. There's a lot of people that need assistance that aren't getting it and are a danger to themselves and others. Very much so. A lot of those people are here.
Well, and Seattle also has that problem. I just actually heard a story that New Orleans has the highest crime than any other city in the United States. But that being said, that in Seattle here too, there's a lot, especially downtown Seattle area. I don't live in Seattle. I live, like I said, up north of there, but I don't like going to Seattle. Most local people don't. It's very dangerous downtown Seattle, especially at night. There's just homeless, and the police are not allowed to chase the criminals in Seattle. And so it's pretty crazy down there, and it's pretty, homeless are everywhere. You can't, in Seattle, you cannot, they're everywhere.
Yeah.
On the freeways, on the sidewalks.
Yeah, I heard it's really bad.
Very, very bad. I actually came in from Texas and New Orleans, and I was shocked at the homeless here. So that tells you something.
Yeah, that's sad.
That tells you something. I was like, holy shit, they're everywhere.
Yeah.
But they have good medical here. and many people have told me they move here because they get free medical. They get, there's a lot of good benefits in this state. The government takes care of these people, so there you
That's
go.
good.
But they don't give them housing.
Yeah.
And so that's the problem. A lot of working class are homeless too. So like they work, but they don't have a house. Like they're not drug addicts or anything like that. They just don't have, they work, but they can't afford the rent.
Yeah. The housing
That's
is so
what's so sad, right?
Yeah, it's messed up.
It's
really
there too, right? The rent has gone up.
The rent's gone up. They have houses that are empty because people use them as vacation homes or Airbnbs for people that don't live here that want to come visit and not stay in a hotel.
And I heard that that is a huge part of the New Orleans housing market is Airbnb now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's definitely changed the entire way the city is and used to be.
That's
And
what I've heard too.
yeah, it's pushing out a lot of the culture bearers and the people that make New Orleans what New Orleans is, It's yeah, it's definitely become whitewashed, if that's a way to put it.
That's what I've heard too. And when I was there, I met a lot of people from California that moved there.
Yeah, there's a lot of Californians for sure.
Yeah, they probably got good deals on compared to California on the housing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Crazy times, Michelle. So
Yep.
that's why you have to go down when you're in New Orleans, go down to Jackson Square and go buy some art off the artists down there and support the communities down there and buy good food off the little cafes. Man, the best food you might find is in those mom and pop stores, man. Like just walking through a neighborhood or something, you find some mom and pop joint. That's the best chicken I ever had, man.
Corner stores.
That chicken,
Sure.
man.
Yep, there's some really good corner stores with some good somebody in the kitchen that
oh my god,
will cook food that you've never had.
That you've never had, and you think, oh, it's just chicken. No, my son and I went to this corner store. Can't remember where it was, but it wasn't in the touristy area. And we walked in there and they had this little, deli kind of thing, but it was like chicken and jambalaya and sausages and rice and all that shit, beans and rice and cornbread, beach cobbler and banana pie and da 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 da. And we got the chicken and we were like, oh fuck, this is the best chicken we've ever had. And it was very affordable. It was like $2 or something for the piece of chicken. But I asked the lady, I said, would you mind telling me how you made this chicken? And she goes, oh honey, it ain't that hard. She goes, you just take that chicken and you put some lemon pepper on that chicken. You put that lemon pepper all over that chicken and you let that chicken and you give it lots of love and you touch it and you give it love and you let that chicken cook all day long. And that's how you make that chicken. And I was like, okay.
That's cool.
That's all I needed to know. And all she did was put that lemon pepper and love.
Lemon pepper and love.
And a long time in the cooking pot. She said, long time in the cooking pot. But that's my story and I'm sticking to it. But thanks, Michelle, for joining me today. Bye, Jude. Hi. Thanks for joining us. You're going to be a star, Jude. Do you ever dress Jude up in like a little outfit or something?
Oh, he's not a fan. Yes.
Figured.
I think on one of my Instagrams, he has like a bandana on, like he's a bandit. He has a little cowboy hat. He has a little witch hat. He does not appreciate any of those things.
Most
but it's good laughs.
It's torturous to them. Yeah, it's not natural. And I used to do that to my little dog Beans, who passed away, but he hated it. And you could tell because he'd just be like,
oh, yeah, my Lola.
They look so cute. They look so cute. Right? That's the problem. All right, Michelle, I appreciate you. Thanks for watching, and check out Michelle at the Laughing Crow Studio on Instagram and on Facebook if you still do Facebook like we do. And also, are you on TikTok?
I am not.
Yeah, a lot of people aren't doing TikTok, and that's okay. I like to watch some of the videos, but so just find her on Instagram. Do you have a website, the Laughing Crow Studio? And
I don't yet.
oh girl, you gotta get this going, honey.
I know I do. It's in the works. It's getting there.
It's that Louisiana laziness, honey. It's that everything will get done attitudes, that Southern way, you know. Up here in the Northwest, they're like, go, 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 you know.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
so funny. It's such a different way of life. It really is. Anyway,
Yeah.
I appreciate you and love you. And thanks for listening to the Tattooed Psychic. If you want to be a guest, please email me at readingswithfaye@gmail.com. And we have some more exciting guests coming up this month. And thanks for listening. And I love you all. And remember to be the love you want to see in the world, because the world needs your love, baby.